Howdy VC, we're back. Today we've got a special theme that we're covering. As you can see from my outfit, we're going to talk about country music today. So we're going to talk about the top 12 outlaw country albums in my opinion. We'll get into a little bit of what outlaw country is, how it started, all that good stuff before we roll through, and then I will go from 12 to 1, and yeah, that's what we'll do. So what is outlaw country, first of all? So it started in the early 70s, and it was backlash against Nashville. So Nashville was the country music machine, and they wanted things a certain way. And basically there was a group of individuals, which I will go through today in this video, that decided to do their own thing and talk about subjects that were forbidden in Nashville, and just try to get back more to the roots and the reality of what country music is. So anyways, so some of the big people that were involved with that were Waylon Jennings, Willie Nelson, Chris Christopherson was as well. And again, we'll go through here, and you'll see some of the big people that were involved. And I'll show you how the short period of time was bookended. So technically, it's not necessarily the first country, outlaw country album, but Waylon Jennings' Honky Tonk Heroes came out in 1973, and this was kind of a really the jump start of the genre, I would say, and also an amazing album. And then in 76, I believe, this Wanted Outlaws compilation was put out with, you've got Willie Nelson, you've got Waylon Jennings, you got Jesse Coulter, and you've got Tom Paul Glasser. So this was a #1 seller for country music, which they had never had before. I think it went platinum, which was unheard of. So this was kind of the pinnacle of outlaw country. And then I'd say the tail end of it is Waylon's I've Always Been Crazy. This is 1977, so just a year later. So we're looking basically from 73 to 77 was the sweet spot. And his song right here is This Outlaw Bit's Done Gone, Got Out of Hand. So he's saying, I think we've done all we can do with the outlaw country movement. So without further ado, let's get into the countdown. So for number 12, I have David Allan Coe. And this guy was a very interesting individual. He spent some time in the penitentiary. Actually, his very first album, called Penitentiary Blues, he wrote that while he was in prison. So he definitely personifies outlaw. And this is his 7th album, I believe. And it's called Rides Again. And some of his big songs on here were Willie, Waylon, and Me. And then he has If That Ain't Country, and he's got a whole bunch of songs that really personify the outlaw. There's his gang back there, and this guy was big in the outlaw movement, and he probably stayed in this a little bit longer than the rest of the gang, but it definitely was him through and through. So number 12, David Allan Coe, Rides Again. All right. Number 11, we have Mr. Jerry Jeff Walker, and this one is Viva Terlingua. Came out in 1973, MCA, and this was what Jerry Jeff deemed as gonzo country, so laid back, has some Mexicali influence, but also some outlaw influence as well. And this one is one of my favorite of his, and definitely high up on the list for him, and one of his most country tinged albums that he has, because some of his other stuff can be a little bit more singer-songwriter, but this was kind of the beginning of his outlaw countryside. So, right, number 10, Sir Doug and the Texas Tornadoes, Texas Rock for Country Rollers. So this is Sir Doug, or Doug Sam is his name. And this guy is, I believe he was from San Antonio, Texas. and he moved out to California for a while with Sir Douglas Quintet, and he was doing more psych and hippie type music, and then he ended up moving back to Texas, and this was in 1976 on ABC Records when he was back in Texas, and he was getting back to his country roots with this, and definitely hits all the Outlaw notes on this one. It's a fantastic album. All right, number 9. We've got Mr. Waylon Jennings. You knew he was coming. He had to come. So this is lauded as one of Waylon's best albums, and for good reason. It's absolutely fantastic. It came out in 1975 on RCA Records, and it has Are You Sure Hank Done It This Way and Waymore's Blues. Those are the two that he actually penned, he wrote, and this one is absolutely amazing. A must have, a must listen to if you're a Waylon Jennings fan. All right, now we've got number 8, Merle Haggard and the Strangers. So this one is a little earlier than the others. This one came out in 1967 on Capitol Records, and you might say, well, was he really part of the Outlaw movement, or was he more Bakersfield sound? He was definitely more Bakersfield sound, but he also had the street credentials to back up the Outlaw, because he spent time in San Quentin, and his songs too reflect that, and especially in this album. I'm a Lonesome Fugitive was a hit for him. He also did Life in Prison, which is an amazing song that the Byrds went on to cover on the Sweetheart of the Rodeo. And he also has Skid Row on this album as well, and My Rough and Rowdy Ways. So he definitely fits the Outlaw vein, in my opinion, and deserves to be in this great list of artists. So, Mr. Merle Haggard and the Strangers. All right, number 7, we've got Terry Allen and the Panhandle Mystery Band, Smokin' the Dummy, this one's called. So Terry Allen this one came out in 1980 on Fate Records, but Terry Allen was a singer-songwriter, and he also had a lot of Mexican flavor in his music as well, so kind of a Tex-Mex, much like Doug Sam. He was doing a lot of the same thing, had a lot of Mexican influence, but also Texas roots, so a lot of fun flavor there, but definitely has the Outlaw vibe here as well. He's got a song called Cocaine Cowboy. He's got another song called Texas Tears, and this is a really great album. His album before this too is really popular and famous. It's called Lubbock on Everything, and he had one before that that's even harder to find that's really good too. That's called Juarez. So Terry Allen, look for Terry Allen, and look for Terry Allen and the Panhandle Mystery Band, because his albums are fantastic. All right, next for number 6, we have a legend. We have Townes Van Zandt, and this is the late, great Townes Van Zandt. And this one came out in 1972 on Poppy Records, and this was his 6th album. He was from Fort Worth, Texas, and he definitely was a singer-songwriter, and a lot of his music is classified as progressive country, but I would say he also fits in the Outlaw vein as well. And this album is so good. It has the song that he wrote that was later covered by Merle Haggard and Willie Nelson. It was called Poncho and Lefty. It was absolutely amazing. He also had Don't Let the Sunshine Fool You, which was a Guy Clark cover. And he did Honky Tonkin' on this one as well, which was a Hank Williams cover. And If I Need You is another one that he wrote on here that's really amazing. And again, it could be, some might say he's not outlaw country, but I beg to differ. I think he definitely fits the vein, and he had a hard life, and he wasn't singing about songs that other people were singing about either. So, all right, number 5 is John Prine with Sweet Revenge. This was his 3rd album. came out in 1973, and this one is absolutely amazing. This one is more country drenched, I think, than some of his other stuff. I think his first album was a little bit more folksy, definitely more in the singer-songwriter vein. But this one, he definitely hits on the outlaw country notes. And I think I'll just read you a couple of the songs on here. He has side one, Sweet Revenge, which is the title song. It's absolutely great. Please Don't Bury Me, Christmas in Prison. And then he's got a really funny one, a Dear Abby one as well. But this is a great album, one of many great albums of John Prine. If you're not familiar with this particular one, I would definitely check it out. It's amazing. Okay, we're getting into the nitty gritty now, and I would say everything from here on out on the list, in my eyes, is going to be a 5-star album or a perfect album. So we are at number 4, and we got Willie Nelson, Shotgun Willie. This one came out in 1973, and it's his first on Atlantic. But this is one where I would say it's, to me, again, it's a perfect album. It's all killer, no filler. You got Shotgun Willie, you got Whiskey River. It's flawless. And the crazy thing is that Willie Nelson is still at it. He's 92 years old. I've heard the touring's getting a little tough on him, but he's still alive and kicking. And he's an outlaw legend. So I'd love to see him if I get the opportunity, but I have not yet. But it's on my to-do list for sure. All right. Now we have number 3, Steve Young. So Steve Young, this is his second album. This one's on Reprise. His first album was Rock, Salt, and Nails, and that was on A&M. And Steve Young was also an originator of outlaw country. He's one of the first. And again, I'm gonna say this is a 4-star album. He wrote Seven Bridges Road, which was later covered by the Eagles. It's an extremely famous song. If you haven't heard it, I put it on. You'd recognize it. He also has the White Trash song. If that's not outlaw, I don't know what is. And he has a really good song on here too that was later made famous by Waylon Jennings, but it was written by Steve, so Steve's going to get the credit here. And it is Lonesome, Ornery, and Mean, which is a huge hit for Waylon Jennings. But this, again, in my mind, this is a 5-star album and not to be missed. Okay, we're down to number 2. We've got Mr. Chris Christopherson, who we just lost not that long ago, I believe last year. This is his self-titled, well, it's actually called Christopherson, but this is his first album. It was on Monument Records, and this guy also personified the outlaw. And he wrote every song on here, and they are great. It starts off with Blame It on the Stones, which is absolutely amazing. And then it also has his original version of Me and Bobby McGee before, I believe Janis Joplin may have released it before, but it is his song and he wrote it. So this is his original version of it. But it's an absolutely amazing album. Definitely one of the harder ones to get and more expensive ones to get from Chris, but is without a doubt a must-have in my mind. And I think, to me, it's his best. All right. We're down to number 1. Who could it be? Well, I'll tell you, it's Billy Joe Shaver, and it's Old Five and Dimers Like Me. And I feel like he had a lot to do with personifying the outlaw movement and was really good friends with Waylon Jennings, wrote most of the songs on Honky Tonk Heroes that I showed you there earlier. A lot of those came from here, which also came out in 1973 on Monument. This was his first album, but he wrote every single song on here. So that's a common theme with the guys towards the top, is that they're also songwriters. And but this thing is flawless. You have Black Rose, Old Five and Dimers Like Me, LA Turnaround, Played the Game Too Long. Every song on here is fantastic. I've Been to Georgia on a Fast Train, Willie the Wandering Gypsy and Me, Low Down Freedom, Bottom Dollar. All of it became staples in his catalog and staples in his live touring. So if you haven't heard this album, I would stream it. If you can find it, I would grab it. Originals are kind of expensive now, but highly worth it. So I've got a couple of honorable mentions because, again, I have a tough time sticking to the rules. 12 is too hard. So we're also going to talk about three people who were also important that didn't make this list. So the first one is Mr. Johnny Paycheck. His biggest song and album was Take This Job and Shove It, which I'm sure most people have heard. This was a later album than that. It came out in 1978. It's called Armed and Crazy. And this guy definitely was an outlaw and wanted to be characterized as one and was really happy being in that vein. Another one that had a tough time transitioning out. So wouldn't be an Outlaw video without Johnny Paycheck. So the other person I'm going to talk about real quick, and this is the only one that's probably really not from the South or the West or spent time in either. And this is Dick Curless. This is called The Wild Side of Town. This came out in 1968. And Dick was actually from Maine. And he was known as the Baron of Country with that eye patch there. But on this one, you see him get a little bit more on the outlaw side with The Wild Side of Town, Easy Woman, Down on the Corner at Kelly's, which actually was also a song that Johnny Paycheck wrote. So they were obviously acquaintances, but this guy's pretty awesome and just barely made the cut. So, all right, the last one that I absolutely have to mention, whose father is a big person and was a big person in country music, and that was Hank Williams. It was his father, is Hank Williams Jr., also known as Bocephus. This is Whiskey Bent and Hellbound. This came out in 1979 on Elektra, and the title song, Whiskey Bent and Hellbound, is absolutely amazing. He's got Tired of Being Johnny Be Good and OD'd in Denver. So he was an outlaw through and through, lived the life, but had amazing voice just like his dad. So anyways, I think that will do it. We've spent enough time on this topic that I love so much, but we'll get another video out to you soon. And then please let me know. Please let me know what I missed. Let me know what you think. Do you agree with what I have to say, or do you disagree? Is there somebody that should be on the list? Let me know. I'd love to have a conversation about it. And also, hit the like and subscribe as well. Trying to grow the channel and trying to get more quality videos out to you. Trying once a week, but probably more like once every 2 weeks. But anyways, I've gone on enough. We will see you next time. Be well.